The plan for the back of the car, aside from the sub going here and having the wire run through this, is to remove this whole side panel here. To do that, we have to remove the floor, this trim panel here, and then this will come out. This is a hard top, which is a little bit different than the soft top. The soft top will have latches right here, depending on whether you have the factory sub or not. But these will come up the same. So how these come up is they pinch here at the front, and there's these two little clips in the back that need to slide forward. So when you lift it off, do that, and just kind of push it forward, and the whole thing will come off. It's really easy to break these, so be careful. And in the rears it works the same, just pull it forward. There you go. Underneath them is two 10mm bolts. For that we'll be using an impact. Once those pull out, just lift the whole things up, set them inside your parts bin. Flip this door up here, and you can get your hands on there, and you can slide this whole piece out. Reach up underneath this guy, it'll come right up. A bunch of metal clips on here, but it comes up easy enough. Things to know about this side panel when you go to remove. There's a big metal clip right here that faces down. There's a little tiny piece right here. It's a little tiny piece. There's a small clip in the front and one in the back. This guy right here. Don't forget this, because this is easy to forget because it just looks very nondescript and goes over in the corner. There's going to be two plugs behind here and possibly a third plug behind here that goes to the key sense. The other thing we have to do is go over and remove the running board on the passenger rear, because this is all one piece and it goes down to there. So this is just like the front. Get your fingers inside of it here and gently pull it up. Put your hand into the side like this. Just work your way down, gently pulling up. Two clips here at the front, two clips in the middle, and two clips in the back. Grab it from the corner, just pull up. All that out of the way, start at your top and work your way down. Don't forget this clip right here. The other thing you want to do is just go ahead and pull all the clips off of the panel, because you're going to be test fitting and it's just, they get in the way. Now, something to note, that the factory sub panel and the non-factory panel are two totally different panels. So you're seeing this one that has the sub. Clips in this are different. On this panel they use these big blue clips, whereas on the non they have a two-piece clip that looks like a button. These, obviously because of the subwoofer, stick a lot harder. Unplug your three clips that are on this side. The first one to unplug is your key sense, then your light, which I remove the light, and then your power port. And when you do that, you don't even have to worry about this clip because you've taken it from the top first and the whole thing will lift out of place. I also tuck my three wires on the other side of the roll bar where that little beauty piece we took out of, they just seem to get in the way all the time. And that exposes this monster right here, which is the factory subwoofer amplifier. This is the BO amplifier. What makes this the BO amplifier is this blue cable right here. If you've ever seen one of our F-150 videos, this should look very familiar to you. It's this USB looking connector, and this is where all the data comes through. There is two other data wires that are built into the harness itself. This is where all of the music happens. So most of these other wires on these harnesses are just speaker wires. To get this whole piece out, there's a bunch of 10mm all along. Of course, there's always one that's going to be hard to get to, which is this guy here. You're going to need some kind of a ratchet and or a mechanical right angle to get that out. Make sure to unplug all the wires from the amplifier. There is one clip up here that goes to the subwoofer and lift the whole thing out of place. This is what we have to work with. This is our template that we made in the last Bronco we did that had the factory subwoofer in the back, and we'll be reusing this to mount our amplifiers. For this, we make a bracket that goes to this screw down here, which was for the factory sub, as well as this bracket here. There is a screw point here for the factory sub. This is designed to sit off of the back about 1.5 inches. There's space here, so we make a rod that goes between here to float this out. And it just so happens to be the right size where both of the amplifiers will fit on it. And just so you know, if you have a Bronco that has the pocket, it is very similar in shape and size to this one. However, some of those screw down points aren't there. And this is what we've come up with. This cardboard here is for the non-subwoofer Bronco, and they're very similar in size. Let me show you what I mean. So this guy here would fit in this vehicle. It has this contour right here, and this actually tucks up in there really tight into the recess. So if you need space to come out, this amp rack here is a better idea because it tucks in very far. The problem with doing that is you can see it gets very narrow here, and there is a lot of room this way because they fit a sub in there. For that, we use this one. As you'll notice, it adds this here, which there is a factory screw down point. For this one here, it doesn't have that, and we put 2 nut certs in at this location. It is got a little bit of different shape. It does sit down a little further. This one is designed to come off, and there's space behind here. There's a lot of space behind here. So if you wanted to put another skinny amplifier behind it, you could. For this though, 2 amplifiers will sit just like this. So for this one, the highs amp will be here, where we have plenty of room for all that wiring to come out. The sub amp will be here. There is a decent amount of room that is located here because this actually has 2 things that hold it up, and then there's a curve. So we have plenty of room for the wiring to come out of the bottom of the amplifier, the RCAs to plug in. This makes it a simple enough install. And like I said, there is room on the back side of it, and that is where we will tuck away our Amp Pro. Now, if we were to tuck them in like this, using this amp rack, what would happen is this one actually sits really close to here because it's pushed back, so this amp rack wouldn't work for that. This needs to turn into some ABS, so join me over at the router station. This is the bracket. I've also cut off some of the scrap and rounded over both sides. This is what I'll use to make my mounts for it that are going to go into the factory screw points. Heat gun, ABS plastic, some time, make an L bracket here. This tape is our JK tape, super red, that is applied to this. This is not for permanent mount. This is just so we can stick it together and we can drill some holes and put some screws in there. This bottom here though, we're gonna apply some foam to so that it doesn't rattle. Make sure to cut off the foam around the screw hole. There is a little ledge there that this sits on. I want this to sit on there nice and flat. Let's head over and get these things into place. The factory screws are an M6. That means I'm going to hand tighten 2 M6 nuts into place. And with the bolt in place and the foam on the bottom, looking at the side profile of this one, it's kind of towing in. So I'm going to heat it back up and bend it out some. I have to line it up with the hole for the top here. Gonna stick these 2 in place like so. For the top screw, I have some aluminum rod that is cut the length and a big long M6 screw. And that's what it's gonna look like. What I need to do is flare the end of this so this screw will fit flat, and then put 2, probably some M4s into this so that it all is bolted together, and then this will be my amp rack. I'll get my amplifiers mounted onto this. We'll put the side panel in to test fit it to make sure that it'll do what we need it to do. Another thing too is these wires here, as we learned earlier, were for the A to B. I'm gonna mount the A to B module here behind it on the back side because I have all kinds of room back here to do stuff like that. I'm also gonna mount the power distribution behind the amp rack, and I will router in some holes here in the front so that my power wire will go off to the back. My signal wire will stay here. I'm going to router some holes into this next, but we do have to get it screwed together first. Do our test fitting, we need to tighten this thing down into place because we need to make sure that this is the final resting point for this. This is why I told you to remove all those clips in the beginning. So the only thing I had to do was shorten this top. It was a little too tall. I needed to taper it in some more. But after checking everything, there's nothing touching nothing. What I mean by that is the amplifiers are nowhere near any of the areas on this to get in the way of anything. So that's actually really nice. The amplifiers have plenty of room here on the bottom. I can still get my hand in here so I can pull out the USB that's gonna get mounted into it. I'm pretty happy. They're tucked up nice inside there, up out of the way, and none of the stuff across the top here is hitting it. That means I'm going to take this all out, put it aside, head over to the bench, and start on the wiring. A couple things that we have to talk about as far as what the wiring is going to consist of. The power wire is going to come down and run along this area here where the factory harness is, and then attached to the distribution block for power. I'm only going to need a power distribution block because there's a factory ground point right here, and we're going to be utilizing that. The only wires I have to run for signal are the 2 tweeter wires up to the front. Everything else is going to be at the factory harness. We're going to be running RCA and Toslink, but we'll discuss that more once we get to the actual tuning side of things.